Hello guys, this is Mauri Majanoja, and you are watching the 85th episode of the World of Warcraft lore lesson. Today we will be talking about the Exiled Ones, known as the Draenei. The Draenei are a race of the uncorrupted Eredar from the planet of Argus. Draenei skin appears in most shades of color, between very pinkish white to light blue up to dark violet. Their blood is also blue. Draenei males have tendrils coming out of their chin, and a fan-like forehead plate which rises and overlaps other forehead plates behind it. Male Draenei have large tails which are held erect by developed muscle structure. The female of the species exhibits marked differences. Rather than the forehead plates featured on the male, they have vaguely horn-shaped cranial extensions that extend over the upper cranium, and end on either side of the crown. Female cranial tendrils sprout behind the ear and are typically long enough to reach the shoulders. Their tendrils are thinner than the males. Female Draenei tails are shorter and have a lower muscle density. In both genders, the hooves are relatively large, in contrast to the more compacted hooves of their demonic counterparts. A lot of people also say that they are made referencing the Protoss from the StarCraft series. The Draenei usually follow either magic or the Holy Light. Magic because they always followed magic going back all the way to their roots on the planet of Argus, and the Light because of their unique relationship with the Naaru. Not long ago, a few have started to follow the path of the Shaman, under the guidance of Farseer Nabundo. They are peaceful people, but a lot of them still hate the orcs and find it hard to forgive, due to how much they lost because of them, despite the efforts of Troll and Velen and now Garrosh making the matters even worse. Nevertheless, there are still cases of acceptance between the two. For instance, the Horde-aligned Earthen Ring has accepted Draenei and broken shamans to heal Outland. Long ago, almost 25,000 years, and that is 15,000 years before the Burning Legion first invaded Azeroth, the Eredar lived in peace on the planet of Argus. They were an extremely intelligent race. The development they owe to the Atamal Crystal, a triangular crystal whose origin was a mystery to the Eredar, though their legend suggested it had been a gift bestowed upon them in ancient times. Their most prominent leaders were Archimonde, Kil'Jaeden and Velen. They were very close, almost like brothers. One day Sargeras came looking for help in order to build his demonic army. He offered them immense power beyond their imagining for their loyalty. Kil'Jaeden and Archimonde accepted almost immediately. However, Velen hesitated, as he was the only one who had the gift of vision. After touching the Atamal Crystal in its temple, he had a vision of the future that filled him with dread. He saw the dark future his people were heading towards, siding with the Dark Titan Sargeras and transformed into demons. He hastened to warn Kil'Jaeden and Archimonde, but they dismissed his concerns and proceeded to profess loyalty to Sargeras. Together, the latter transformed a majority of their people into an insidious race of warlocks and later allied themselves with the Burning Legion. Velen knew he had no future there, and was most likely going to be killed, so he had to look for a solution. At that time, the Atamal Crystal started to glow and arose from its pedestal. A voice came to Velen and explained that it was one of the Naaru, a race of sapient energy beings bent on stopping the Burning Legion. The Naaru offered to take Velen and any other like-minded Eredar to safety and instructed Velen to bring the Atamal Crystal, revealing that it had been a gift from the Naaru in ancient times and a beacon by which the Naaru would find Velen and his followers. Deeply relieved, Velen gathered the other Eredar loyal to him. They took the name Draenei, which meant the Exiled Ones, and escaped the world of Argus with the ship called osho'gun. In their escape, the Atamal Crystal was shattered into 7 shards. Kil'Jaeden was beyond furious and vowed to hunt down Velen and rest of the traitors. They inhabited many worlds, although it didn't last long until the Burning Legion found them. Velen always managed to escape with very little casualties. One day, they found the world of Draenor. It is said that it was 200 years before the First War, although it is most likely a few millennia. They settled on the world and forged an entire civilization on it. However, they were always under constant threat of the Burning Legion. This is where they met the peaceful orcs, and they were always neutral with them, and never had much contact, only a few friendly trades. Eventually Talgath, the agent of Kil'Jaeden, sensed the essence of the Eredar magic. They finally managed to find the Draenei. Kil'Jaeden was a lot more careful this time, and wanted to do it more strategically, and not let Velen escape from his grasp again. He disguised himself as an ancient orc spirit and contacted the leader of the Shadow Moon clan, Ner'zhul. He convinced him that the Draenei were evil and were working against them. Ner'zhul quickly united the clans and started an attack on the Draenei. However, he realized what Kil'Jaeden was trying to do and tried to stop it. However, he failed in the attempt, as his apprentice Gul'dan continued his work. Soon, over 80% of the Draenei population was completely wiped, and the survivors were left scattered all over the world. The Draenei who had fought the Horde and survived found that they had been affected by the fell energies wielded so freely by the Orc warlocks. These Draenei have since mutated and evolved into lesser forms, resulting in a series of subspecies. Kil'Jaeden's revenge was complete, or so he thought. Velen and a handful of untransformed Draenei have survived the destruction of their cities by the Orcs and fled to Zangarmarsh. There they have been hiding until recently. When the portal reopened, a few groups of Draenei escaped and wandered around the blasted lands until they settled in the Swamp of Sorrows. They have been severely mentally damaged and hate the Orcs to this day. In Warcraft 3, the Blood Elves escaped with Illidan to Outland, and that is where they found a small group of Broken led by Akama fighting Magtheridon's fell Orcs. They banded together and managed to defeat the Orcs and take over Magtheridon himself. However, both the Blood Elves and the Draenei vowed to serve Illidan. After coming to Draenor, the Blood Elves discovered the power of the Tempest Keep and successfully seized it. To escape, the Draenei that managed to flee to Zangarmarsh led by Velen came out of hiding and managed to wrestle control of a wing of the keep, the Exodar, and tried to use it to escape and find aid in retaking their home. Before they took off, the Blood Elves managed to sabotage the ship, thus making it crash land on Azeroth. As the surviving Draenei salvaged what they could of their ship and tried to help what was left of their people, they began exploring this new world. Contact with the Night Elves of Darkshore was imminent. Inspired by heroic tales of the Alliance and its victories against the Legion, the Draenei sought out and pledged their loyalty to this courageous faction. Not long afterward, Velen and his noble refugees played a key role in urging the Alliance to invade Outland and disrupt the Legion's nefarious activities. With their faith in the light, they managed to defeat their ancient demonic rivals. They also got a chance to reconnect with what they lost after all the wars they have been through. Meanwhile, in Shadwrath City, a small remnant of the Draenei priesthood still conducted its rites in a ruined temple. This remnant, known as the Aldor, were more than happy to see the Naru Adal, and with their combined efforts, Shadwrath began to truly flourish for the first time in years. Unfortunately, the tentative peace was not to last. Illidan's armies began to attack, including a large regiment of Blood Elves. These Blood Elves, led by Vorenthal, were sent to lay waste to the city when something unexpected happened. The Blood Elves laid down their weapons and Vorenthal stormed into Terrace of Light, demanding to speak to Adal. Kneeling before the Naru, Vorenthal simply said, "I've seen you in a vision, Naru. My race's only hope for survival lies with you. My followers and I are here to serve you." Vorenthal took up residence along with his followers, forming the Scryer faction. The leader of the Blood Elves, Kil'Jaeden, wasn't satisfied with what he was getting at the moment and wanted more power, and that is what he thought to receive by allying himself with the Burning Legion. Kil'Jaeden began planning on getting his master Kil'Jaeden into Azeroth. The Aldo and Scryers immediately dropped their petty differences and threw themselves into the creation of the Shattered Sun offensive at the behest of the Naru. This is where the line blurs even further between the two races. Both work together as one to take back the Isle of Quel'Danas, and both encourage Alliance and Horde to work together. They made an appearance in the Wrath of the Lich King. However, nothing major happened to the race. In the Cataclysm, Anchorite Avun traveled to the harborage eager to learn all that he can from Mak'Tur and the Lost Ones of the Swamp of Sorrows. Avun has faith that there is a way to bring the Lost Ones back from the brink, and find a way to cure the fell energies that have consumed them. He worked for years to try to cure the affliction of the broken. The foul energies that corrupted them did more than twist their bodies. It took the comfort of the light from them so they cannot feel its warmth. Avun was also eager to help Mak'Tur, who grew weaker every second. As Mak'Tur passed away, a portal from the Exoda opened and Prophet Velen stepped through. Velen explained that the light wishes suffering on none, but it does not reign unopposed in our realm. As Mak'Tur had embraced his plight bravely, he was ready to return to the embrace of the light. They will be making a major appearance in the expansion yet to come called the Warlords of Draenor. The expansion will be showing the brutal war between the corrupted orcs and the Draenei. Thanks for watching. We hope you had enjoyed, and we will be coming back with more. And don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe. And also give us feedback on what you think